Colorectal cancer is now the third most common cancer in the United States, and rates have been rising specifically in younger people. That trend has pushed colon health from a topic older adults think about to one that everyone should be paying attention to, regardless of age. And while some aspects of colon health are tied to genetics, experts are clear that diet plays a substantial role. What you eat shapes the composition of your gut microbiome, regulates inflammation, and determines how efficiently waste moves through your digestive system. All three of those factors are directly connected to colon health and colorectal cancer risk. So what should you actually be eating? A gastroenterologist and 2 registered dietitians identified the 10 best foods for colon health, and the reasons behind each one explain a lot about how your gut actually works. Let us start with one that most people already have in their kitchen. Broccoli. It is high in fiber, which is the obvious benefit, but the more interesting piece is its sulfur-containing compounds. These compounds help protect colon cells from oxidative damage, which is one of the underlying mechanisms in colorectal cancer development. Broccoli also promotes the growth of healthy bacteria in the gut, so it is working on 2 fronts simultaneously, protecting the cells that line the colon and feeding the microbial community that keeps the gut environment healthy. Carrots. These offer something important that not all fiber sources do, both soluble and insoluble fiber in one food. Soluble fiber slows digestion and helps regulate blood sugar. Insoluble fiber adds bulk to stool and speeds up waste transit through the gut. That transit time matters for colon health because the longer waste sits in the colon, the more time any harmful compounds in it have to interact with the colon lining. Beyond fiber, carrots contain beta-carotene, an antioxidant and anti-inflammatory agent that helps regulate the gut microbiome and reduce inflammation. Leafy greens. Spinach, kale, arugula, and similar vegetables are packed with fiber and something more specific, pectin. Pectin is a prebiotic fiber, meaning it serves as food for the probiotic bacteria already living in your gut. Feeding those beneficial bacteria well keeps the microbial community diverse and active, which supports colon health in multiple ways. Gastroenterologists consistently recommend a good mix of leafy greens as a foundation for digestive health. Apples. High in soluble fiber and consistently associated with a more diverse gut microbiome, apples also have anti-inflammatory properties that make them particularly relevant for colon health. Chronic inflammation is a recognized risk factor for gut diseases, including Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, and colorectal cancer. Reducing dietary sources of inflammation and increasing anti-inflammatory foods is one of the most accessible ways to lower that risk over time. Pears. An excellent source of soluble fiber, pears support microbial diversity in the gut and help keep you regular. They are frequently recommended for easing constipation because of their fiber content combined with natural compounds like sorbitol and fructose that support motility. Regular, timely transit through the colon is one of the simplest protective factors for colon health. Whole grains. Oatmeal and other whole grains contain a specific type of soluble fiber called beta-glucan, which is also a fermentable fiber. Fermentable fibers are broken down by gut bacteria into short-chain fatty acids, including acetate, propionate, and butyrate. These short-chain fatty acids are genuinely important compounds. They boost gut barrier integrity, regulate metabolism, and lower inflammation. Butyrate, in particular, is the primary fuel source for the cells lining the colon. When those cells are well nourished with butyrate, the colon lining stays healthy and intact. Whole grains also improve stool bulk, making it easier to pass and encourage the growth of beneficial bacteria overall. Legumes. Lentils, peas, and beans are a rich source of resistant starch, a type of carbohydrate that passes through the small intestine undigested and reaches the colon intact, where it feeds beneficial gut bacteria. Like whole grains, legumes increase short-chain fatty acid production through this fermentation process. They are also high in fiber and protein, supporting satiety and steady digestion. Including legumes regularly is one of the most consistent recommendations across dietary patterns associated with good colon health. Yogurt. The benefit here comes from probiotic cultures. Yogurt can help replenish healthy gut bacteria and support gut barrier function, which is the physical integrity of the lining that separates the gut contents from the bloodstream. A compromised gut barrier is associated with increased inflammation and a range of health problems beyond just the digestive system. The probiotics in yogurt also support the production of short-chain fatty acids, adding another layer of benefit for the colon specifically. When choosing yogurt for colon health, the key is finding varieties with live active cultures and minimal added sugar. Kimchi. This fermented vegetable is rich in probiotics that stimulate the growth and activity of beneficial bacteria in the colon. It has anti-inflammatory properties and helps the gut resist harmful pathogens by maintaining a microbial balance that crowds out less beneficial organisms. Kimchi and other fermented vegetables are increasingly recognized in gastroenterology research for their role in reducing gut inflammation and improving microbial diversity, both of which connect directly to colon health outcomes. Flaxseed. High in soluble fiber, flaxseed adds bulk to stool and increases motility and regularity. When broken down in the gut, it produces butyrate, the short-chain fatty acid that directly fuels colon cells. Flaxseed also provides omega-3 fatty acids, which combat inflammation in the gut. This combination of fiber, butyrate production, and anti-inflammatory fats makes flaxseed one of the more comprehensive colon-supporting foods on this list. Ground flaxseed is more bioavailable than whole seeds, so grinding it before use maximizes the benefit. Now here's the piece that the gastroenterologist behind this list emphasizes most strongly, and it is the framing that ties everything together. There is no single superfood for colon health. What matters is a dietary pattern. These 10 foods work best not as isolated additions, but as part of an overall approach to eating that centers on variety, plants, and fiber. The goal is to consistently feed the right gut bacteria, not to eat any one food perfectly. The best diet for colon health, as the gastroenterologist puts it directly, is less about restriction and more about feeding the right gut bacteria consistently. The practical target is at least 25 grams of dietary fiber per day. Most people in the United States fall significantly short of that. Building meals around the foods on this list, rotating through different fiber sources throughout the week, and including both probiotic foods like yogurt and kimchi and prebiotic foods that feed those probiotics is the approach that gastroenterologists and dietitians consistently point to for protecting colon health over the long term. One important note when increasing fiber intake: drink plenty of water alongside it to support transit and prevent constipation and bloating as your gut adjusts. And here is something worth sitting with before you go. The rise in colorectal cancer rates among younger adults is one of the more alarming trends in cancer research right now. Rates in people under 50 have been climbing steadily, and while the causes are not fully understood, diet is consistently identified as a modifiable risk factor. That means it is a factor within your control. The foods on this list are not exotic or expensive. Broccoli, carrots, apples, oats, beans, yogurt, these are everyday foods available in any grocery store. The gap between what most people eat and what protects the colon is not a knowledge gap about rare superfoods. It is a consistency gap with common foods that have decades of research behind them. Eating for colon health does not require a dramatic overhaul. It requires making fiber-rich, plant-centered, and fermented foods a regular and reliable part of how you eat, starting now rather than later. New videos every day covering the digestive health and cancer prevention research that helps you make better choices at every meal.